I knew what TikTok was, I just wasn't on there myself. And I was like, well, yeah, I guess we should, we should probably put it on there. And it was just a click of a button. It's kind of wild what one click of a button can do. My name is Breland, and this year has been wild. These Jordans, you can say you we sold out! My truck just went platinum. The year since moving to Nashville could not have gone really much better for me professionally or even just creatively and emotionally. I feel like I've grown a lot. This is crazy. 52 million streams on Spotify this year. That's like 52 million more than I had every year up until now combined. Having dropped a hit song with my truck in 2020, I kind of suspected that 2021 would be a good year. I just didn't know exactly what was gonna happen. And the biggest change, other than things starting to open back up and being able to play shows, was really just starting to feel embraced by some of the people that I look up to in the genre and having music with a lot of those people.
He brought it, so he made me bring it, and I don't think I brought it like he brought it.
No, we both brought it. Growing up, my parents are both gospel singers. They're both ordained ministers. They actually put out an album when I was a kid too. They were like recording music and had a little studio in our basement. So I kind of watched them pursue the dream. I just felt like I always was surrounded by incredible music and incredible musicianship. My older sister was such an entertainer growing up, Gigi, that like between her and my parents, they were always singing 3-part harmony, and they're like, come on, jump in on the 4th. I owe a lot of my ability to sing and the types of choices that I make with my voice to things that I grew up hearing through them and the music that they put me onto. I went away to a boarding school, still in New Jersey where I'm from, but I kind of went from being a more shy, reserved kid to coming on campus and being like, I could be anything I want. And I just started telling people I was an artist. I was like, what's up, I'm an artist, I go by D Breezy. And I had a little theme song that I would sing to people, and it was like, this is D Breezy, 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 D Breezy, Breezy, oh, Breezy, 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 D Breezy. And I would literally go around campus singing this song to people who didn't ask me to. And I started posting YouTube videos, doing covers with like original rap verses, hoping that I would be able to go from viral to verified at like 14, 15. It just took like 10 years. For a number of years, I was living in Atlanta after college, trying to write songs, pitch songs for people, because there were some people in my life at the time who had convinced me that I didn't have what it took to be an artist. But I did move to Atlanta with a day job. I would get to the studio at like 7, I would stay there until 3, because I'm like, dude, I need to treat it like a full-time job, so I need 8 hours there as well, and then I would get home at like 3:30, and run the whole thing back. That was a really tough grind. I'm like, at some point, one of these songs is gonna have to go. It's not like I was just truly in one spot. Like I could feel things starting to change, and there were a couple artists that started to cut songs of mine in the R&B and hip hop space. Trey Songz recorded a bunch of my songs. I wrote 9 songs on his last album. Because I was starting to make inroads in R&B, I was like, okay, well, let me keep fanning that flame. But I always felt as a creative that there were a lot of other genres that I could be doing. And so with country, I felt like I had the opportunity to really do that. I just didn't have artists available to me in those other spaces where it would have made sense for me to be writing demos for them. It was a weird day when My Truck was written. I was at the studio that morning. There was an artist who was supposed to come through to write with me, and she never showed. And I was just like, I'm gonna go home. And my buddies at the studio were like, dude, you can't leave here like that. Like, I'm a big basketball fan. That's like leaving the court on a miss. You gotta make it before you leave the court. So I was like, if I'm gonna make something, I wanna make something totally different. And at the time, there were a couple songs out that were kind of in that country hip hop fusion, and I was like, I haven't really made anything like that. I bet I can make that. And My Truck was born. Don't touch my truck. I put a snippet of it on my Instagram, and I had been posting a lot of snippets on my Instagram of just demos that I was writing. And I would be like, hey, like, what artist do you guys hear on this song? And it was a lot of R&B stuff. They'd be like, oh, like, you know, Trey Songz, Usher, you know, whatever. But with this one, it was so different that they were like, I don't know, man, you should do it. And I was like, okay, well, the people have spoken. I think this is gonna be like my debut single as Breland. I think we should just put it out.
You can call me crazy, but don't touch my truck.
Once it came out and I saw people starting to share it, and it kind of jumped up to like 10,000 streams in like the first 48 hours. I was like, oh, we are off to the races. It's over. And then it stalled out at 10,000 streams for the next 2.5 months. I was like, oh, okay, well, I shouldn't have gotten too excited. And I truly had forgotten that I even put the song out when suddenly I had like 10 different people message me and say, hey, your song is viral on TikTok. And I was like, what song are you even talking about? I had probably 10 different record labels hitting me up like, are you the artist behind this song? Let's meet Thursday. It was a Tuesday. I was like, okay, so I'm going out to LA in 2 days and I don't have any other music that sounds like this. Over the course of the past 24 hours, we have put together 5 really strong records just in time for some meetings. We're trying to fuse country and trap. Then I really realized like, I'm pretty good at doing this. I had put together something that I could claim as my own lane of music between all these different genres that I liked. And things really changed from there. Keith reached out and was like, hey, it's Keith Urban, what's up? I like what you're doing. I would love to collaborate with you on something. I think my album is mostly done. I've got maybe one more song and I want to make it with you. I was like, this can't be real. This can't be real. But it was real.
I'm at Keith Urban's house.
That happened right before I moved out here and was a big part of why I was like, you know what, I need to just move out here. And that led to Out the Cage that I'm featured on, and Soul Food on his album that I co-wrote, and Throw It Back, which, you know, I put out with him on it. And it's just a really beautiful relationship that has grown out of both of us wanting to push the boundaries of what music can sound like and taking ourselves out of the boxes that people typically would want to put us in. That's the whole thing about Cross Country. There's a lot of different ways that stories can be told. I don't think it just has to be told in the ways that it's been told before. Regardless of how it's presented and regardless of how it's packaged, if a person is telling their story on a song, that's country music to me. You would never expect Keith to be on a song like Throw It Back, or for Sam Hunt to hop on my truck and to say, throw some Bone Thugs on and make your loose change jump. What? People come on these songs just feeling free and being able to show different sides of themselves. And I think to be able to help bring that out of them and for them to be able to help bring that out of me too is really fun. I knew that I wanted to come to Nashville to really be able to understand how people were creating what they were creating and see where I could fit in.
My God, check you out.
In a lot of other genres, you don't really ever have access to those people who have been just crushing it with hits and hits and hits for years. But in Nashville, those people are very approachable.
So a couple weeks ago, I got a text from Garth Brooks. I'm a big Garth fan, so I was like, there's no way this is actually him. Turns out we have some mutual friends, and he wanted to meet. So I was like, I'm sure I could pencil you in.
There's not really much of an ego, and people really want to help. And so I just started soaking up game. I came out here and was like, I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to observe and figure this out and get cuts with other artists and really just immerse myself into everything that this town has to offer. And I had a lot of great people who helped make that transition really simple. I don't want anyone in country music to think that I'm coming in here to try to mess up country music. I have a deep respect and appreciation for country music, and all I want to do is add a new perspective.
People are like, Breland, you are from New Jersey. You're a black dude from New Jersey. Why are you in country music? And the answer to that is simple. I believe that country music is for everybody. I believe country music is for everybody. Anybody that has a story to tell can tell it here, and I think that's a really powerful thing. This song tells a little bit about my story.
Jersey made. I was born and raised in the Garden State, and my mama prayed.
Cross Country is a song that tells my story. I sometimes wonder, like, what would have happened if I had never uploaded my truck to TikTok, or if I hadn't written it, or any number of small variables. When thinking about that and how different my life is now than it was a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I wanted to speak to that artistically. And I think approaching it from that perspective with having two realities, the reality where I put out the song and become an artist and the reality where I don't, that dichotomy there is kind of what has happened in my life over the past few years, and I think that's part of what my story is right now.
I'm going cross country, I won't stop running till I find where I belong.
My artistry is built on the songwriting, and so I'm still writing songs for other artists like Ty Dolla $ign and other people in other genres. When you're able to reach across the aisle, that's a cultural exchange, and those exchanges bring people together in ways that I think are really important in this world, especially nowadays. I want to bring people together. I want to approach everything that I do with love and light and respect. I think that's what it's about. I think it's about helping make the space more inclusive for the artists that want to come in, for the writers and producers that want to come in, for the fans who just want to listen to the music and go to the concerts and feel like they belong there. I think what I'm doing hopefully inspires that and helps bring some of that change about. All of that is what drives me.